Welcome back. Vikings Pro Bowl quarterback Kirk Cousins will be stopping by the show tomorrow. Talk some Vikings,
you like that?
his life in quarantine, and the advice he just gave Dak Prescott. It's tomorrow on First Things First.
Get that money.
And we are back here with Greg Jennings. Time for drawing a blank. Now nobody has to watch tomorrow, so that's good. Chiefs GM Brett Veach recently said, quote, teams are certainly ready for a track meet when they play us, which might explain why their AFC West opponents all added speed through the draft this year. Speed is good. Nick, team's strategy of trying to outscore the Chiefs' offense is blank.
It's a Hobson's choice. It's your only choice with terrible options. Hey, you can't try to stop the Chiefs' offense. No one's been able to do it when Patrick Mahomes has been healthy his entire career. So your only choice is to try to beat them the way New England beat them twice in 2018, the way the Rams beat them, which is get in a shootout and outscore them. The problem for the other teams in the AFC West are, three simple words. And those words are Taylor, Carr, and Locke. Those are the starting quarterbacks for the three AFC West teams. I don't know if you're going to be able to outscore the Chiefs unless you at the very least have a very good, if not great, quarterback. But I get why this is the strategy. Loading up on corners and pass rushers isn't going to slow this Chiefs offense down, so I call it a Hobson's choice, Craig.
Yeah, I look at it as being respectful disrespect. And the reason why I say it is you got teams that are respectfully saying that, look, we can't stop this team, so let's try to go toe for toe and let's try to make it a shootout. However, the disrespect comes when you start thinking about the type of roster that these teams have. And let's be honest, the quarterback and the lack thereof that these other teams in this AFC West division do not have. You just mentioned them. I don't need to repeat them, but they don't have Patrick Mahomes. So it's kind of a slap in the face at Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid saying, look, you got the offense. We'll just keep up with you. It's not that easy.
Nick, I went with week 4. Jarrett Stidham leads the Patriots into Arrowhead. And when we did the schedule reveal, we didn't make a bet. It's one of the tried and true television segments. The two people make a bet, and we compiled the top 5 bets that usually happen on TV. And you can pick one, or we can choose one, or you can give me good odds if you like. Number 5 is usually a terrible haircut. Number 4, gross food, like you have to eat something disgusting. Number 3, you have to wear the rival's jersey. That's a classic one. Number 2, live tattoo, high stakes. A lot of times that's a fantasy football type thing. And number 1, reduction in the strength of a nicotine patch that one of the people is wearing. So I don't know if any of those speak to you, but if you want to choose the social thing that we choose a bet for week 4.
Real quick, I'll answer, and then I'll kick it to Jenna. I assume since you're offering to me that I have automatic consent from you. Yeah, we'll go with 1. If the Patriots you will wear the nicotine patches that I've been wearing for 12 years for a week. I'm telling you, it'll change your life, man. You'll start having these amazing dreams. It'll be great. You'll be sharper. You'll be funnier. It'll change your life. The best thing, so it's a win-win for you. So there you go. There's the bet. Lock it in. Put it in the bet book, Jenna, we're locked in.
It is a lose-lose for me. I got one guy who's going to be down, and one guy who's usually down is going to be up. It's going to be way too hard for me to grasp the concept of that. So pick something else from the other 4, and we'll get back to it.
Wilds will feel great.
You got no nicotine in you, Nick. All right, Nicotine Wright wasn't the only one to predict the entire 256-game NFL schedule. Pro Football Focus also spent all of Mother's Day weekend simulating every game. You guys, they, like you, have the Cowboys beating out the Eagles for the division title. Back to you, Nick. Cowboys winning the NFC East this season would be blank.
I'll answer it in a moment. And I know that the audience at times and Jenna at times feels that I'm unfair and I pick on Jenna. And I don't mean to. I adore Jenna. But it is amazing to me that even in me and Wild's fake nicotine bet, Jenna didn't understand the terms. If I won the bet, Jenna, I would keep my nicotine patch. You're like, you'd be down, he'd be up. No, Jenna, I would still have had the nicotine patch. You were so confused.
All
Even
right, so
fake
we're all
bets
on brand.
about games that haven't happened. They just baffle you. Anything related to gambling, Jenna just has a... All right, now, to answer the question,
moving along.
The Cowboys winning the NFC East would be expected. Listen, we've gone Cowboys, Eagles, Cowboys, Eagles. As far as division winners in the NFC East the last 4 years, it's flip-flopped. I think the Cowboys have the stronger overall roster, and unlike last year, where they had that very easy opening 3 games, and then it got much tougher, you look at the Cowboys opening 7 games. They will be favorites in 6 of those first 7. Aside from at Seattle, it's hard to find the loss. At the Rams, home for Atlanta, at Seattle, home for Cleveland, home for the Giants, home for Arizona, at Washington, leading into the huge Week 8 game at Philly. I think Dallas 6-1 going into that football game, 5-2 at worst. At worst, pardon me, Greg, I expect them to win the NFC East.
Yeah, I was having a brain fart for whatever reason. I was going to say unusual, but because of the flip-flop, that's what I was thinking. It's pretty standard. It's pretty typical. This is what happens in the NFC East division. Teams don't go back-to-back, and the last team to go back-to-back was the Eagles in the 04-05 season. The Cowboys haven't gone back-to-back since 95-96. It is just standard for this division to go. One team wins, that team has no chance the following season. So I'm going with it's going to be pretty standard if they win.
Jenna, I went with Wright, W-R-I-G-H-T, after America's foremost prognosticator, Nick Wright. I totally agree with his rankings here. Cowboys, Eagles, Washington, Giants. The only issue I have, Nick, since we're all New Yorkers, you got the Giants at 2-14. I don't think Joe Judge can go 2-14. When former Patriot, he's former Patriot, so I have love for him. Former Patriot Brian Flores was tanking, and he won 5 games. So I need Joe Judge to win more than 2 games. But other than that, I love your predictions for the conference division.
Oh, okay. Appreciate that.
All right, so maybe you can just do those 256 games over again. Give the Giants an extra win or 2. Moving on to the Texans now. Many people speculating that Deshaun Watson will be the next QB to receive a mega deal, one that could reportedly range between $40 million and $42 million guaranteed per year. That is so much money. Nick, Deshaun Watson getting more than $40 million guaranteed per year would be blank.
The Bill O'Brien tax. You take the highest paid in the history of the league, and you add 20 to 25%, and that's what you get when Bill O'Brien's negotiating on the other side of the table from you. We just saw this happen with Laramie Tunsil. Laramie Tunsil, who, most famously before the Texans traded for him, was known for a gas mask bong on draft day. He sits across the table from Bill O'Brien and his infinite wisdom with no agent and gets $22 million per year. The next highest paid tackle in the history of football was $18 million. So that's a 22% raise on the next highest. So take $35 million. What's a 22% raise on $35 million? Oh, it's $42 million. So it's exactly what should be expected. Yeah, this is about what Deshaun Watson's going to get. And Brett Veach in Kansas City, for the love of God, get a deal done with Mahomes before Bill O'Brien resets the market on every position in the league, because he doesn't know what he's doing. I love Deshaun. He should be one of the highest paid, but $42 million a year would only happen in Houston.
Well, the way I look at it, it would be well-deserved, because you get rid of arguably your second best talented individual on the team in DeAndre Hopkins. That leaves you with your quarterback solely by himself. So, yes, throw all the bags at him. Back the Brinks truck up and give him what he is deserving. He's been everything as advertised and even more. He deserves it. Go get it, D-Watt.
Jenna, I went with Arbachian after Red Auerbach. It's a famous Celtics quote where he said there's two rules on the team, rules for everyone and rules for Bill Russell. So Jeremy Fowler floated this idea that they were talking about a quarterbacks only salary cap. I don't know how it would work exactly.